Hello and welcome to the Work for Change podcast. My name is Jean, spelled like Jean.
And my name is John with a silent H. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 54 of the Work for Change podcast. This one, really cool. We were able to interview a few of our friends, actually.
Yeah.
The Buttery Bros, so that's Heber and Mars. So these are two guys that, if you guys don't know, they used to work for CrossFit Inc., and they did pretty much like all the videos.
Oh, yeah.
And now we kind of get into it in the podcast, but I mean, these are the videos that literally got me into CrossFit, and they made the feature-length documentaries. These are two absolute insanely talented filmmakers that me and John have basically been following for a few years now.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like, even while they were the media people for CrossFit and they weren't really named, like, I loved the videos, and it would be like produced or edited by blah, blah, and I'm like, I'm following them.
Yeah.
And so, like, even before they were personalities, they were like people that we both were like, we want to follow them, we want to be as good as them, we want to, you know.
And so what Heber and Mars do now is they have a YouTube channel called The Buttery Bros, where they go around and they're able, because of the connections they had in CrossFit before, they're able to work out with some of the most fit people on the face of the earth. And they just make incredibly good videos, and they're really cool guys. They're really fun guys to talk to. And we had a great time talking to them and had a great conversation.
Yeah, so I really think that it's going to be cool to listen to this episode because it's just a bunch of guys who are doing what they love, pursuing a career now in something that they just kind of hoped would work after they lost their original career. And fitness is a huge part of their life. And so it's a cool perspective where it's not someone who's absolutely obsessed with fitness, but it's still a big deal. And I think a lot of people really can relate with that. Hope you guys enjoy episode 53 of the Work for Change podcast.
John, I feel like you're upset at me just by looking at me with those sunglasses on.
You look sharp.
Man, I don't know. I'm feeling something right now.
Yeah, you get that stash.
Feeling
Some power is what he's feeling. He's about to start making some rules and some laws here in the podcast.
Lay
down the law, bro.
Enforce them. Hey, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're just getting right into it, just like this. In case everyone, what we talked about in the intro, we got the Buttery Bros up on this podcast. We got Mars and Heber.
Yeah, whoa, what's up?
Yeah, we're super excited to have you guys.
Stoked to be here, man.
Yeah, most of our interviews are actually done via Skype.
Oh,
So
It's always nice when it's not Skype.
an actual in life,
In person.
Yeah.
person.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, Skype ones are hard because they'll start talking, but it's like that delay.
Yeah.
And then you'll want to say something, and there's a little bit of a pause, and then it's just
Yeah,
it's
I
weird.
get you, man.
Yeah.
It's made me a lot better at interviewing people, because when I first started, I used to do videos before I ever did podcasts, and I was the worst interviewer because I would always interrupt people. Not because it was rude, but because I'd get so excited about what they're talking about that I'd be like, yeah, and then all the comments were like, dude, stop interrupting.
Oh, okay.
And so I've gotten a little bit better at it, but I still struggle
it's a
with
process.
it at times. Yeah.
Talking is hard.
It really is, man. It's, especially like when you're talking for a long period of time, and then when you're talking about something that's interesting to you, in a regular conversation, people interrupt each other. It's like normal, like
Yeah.
just what you do. But when you're interviewing someone, it's just a little bit different, I think.
It's kind of happening right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what they're feeling. They just keep
Totally
ignoring
kidding,
him,
totally
keep talking
kidding.
about
Just
it.
they're just like, yeah, you haven't learned much.
Well, if you guys don't know, he lost 160 pounds.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, we heard.
180
that.
pounds,
No.
all right?
180.
No, they've heard enough about that. They want to hear about you
Every
guys.
person that we interview, he's like, well, when I lost 180 pounds, and it's like, okay.
That's interesting. You like sunglasses, yeah. So when I was 180 pounds heavier, sunglasses were really hard to find for me.
Yeah.
Couldn't fit on my head.
They couldn't fit on my head.
Okay, so let's just go. Let's just start from the beginning.
Killer.
How did you guys get into video?
Me or you? Me? All right, I'll
yeah,
tell
you go
You go
first.
ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Growing up, I remember my mother had a giant VHS, VCR camcorder, and I was always like, huh, that looks cool, and it was just something that I was drawn to, and then eventually, by the time I got to high school, I knew that I wanted to be doing video editing and storytelling, and it was right around the time that they had the Apple giant desktop computers that had iMovie on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember that was the first time I got to manipulate clips and understand how it all worked, and that's what really blew my mind. And then by the time I was into college, that's kind of what I pursued, and that's what I majored in. And then afterwards got out, and that's when I actually learned the skills. You know, the field experience, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The year was 1988. I was 5 years old. Back to the Future had just come out a few years prior. Still a big hit. So my oldest brother, Chris, was making they would be like web sketches now, but it was like a skit for the high school assembly. And they recreated Back to the Future. Like they
One
were,
or two? Which one?
Nice.
2 hadn't come out yet.
2's better.
2's a phenomenal movie. 2 had not yet come
He's ready
out.
to argue about it right now too.
And they even went to the length of they poured gasoline on the street and lit it
Oh,
so
yes.
it looked like tires had just
Nice.
gone through.
Wow.
But anyway, so they went Back to the Future, and I was the younger version of himself because I was like 5 or 6 at the time. And their quest was to figure out how they became so cool as seniors in high school. And so I was involved in the filmmaking process as an actor and really loved being in front of the camera, loved watching how they did all these things, and lighting the street on fire was cool. And then flash forward a couple of years, and I was making rollerblading videos from VHS tape
Oh,
to VHS
you fruit booted,
tape. Yeah,
huh?
fruit booting.
Okay. Fruit by the foot.
Exactly. Editing with 2 VHS tapes and throwing in music later, hoping that it would sync up, and then finally getting to where I could work on a computer, and now this is what I do for a living. Kind of fun.
That's wild.
I can't even imagine what that was like. Like before, so when I started editing, first I was using Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
Like
It
the
was a
first
great machine.
Dude,
So
it
when
was just so hard to get the software in the
man.
hard drive space. It was impossible.
I can't even imagine. Like I struggled because when I started with Windows Movie Maker, I mean it was like this free version. It wasn't even on my laptop because I couldn't afford it when it was my sister's laptop. And for some reason, this version you couldn't even put music on top of a video.
Yeah.
Like it was like all you could do is just clip, 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 and then so I remember I ended up. After I had that for a while, I got my own laptop, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like an actual editing software. So I went from Windows Movie Maker to Adobe Premiere.
Dang,
and
that's a jump.
I remember being like, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Like it was.
What all these buttons do?
I had absolutely no idea what I was looking at.
A little overwhelming?
I thought I was looking at another language. So then now to make my own videos, I'm watching other videos on YouTube on how to just use the program, how to even open it and I didn't even know how to put a file on a timeline. Like I didn't know what that was.
And then you got this 8-year-old teaching you how to do it.
Yep,
on
exactly. And
YouTube.
they're like, "You idiot! This is what you do." And you're like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool." I mean, to be honest, I still do that when I don't know how to do
yeah,
something.
Yeah,
I'm like,
straight up.
"How do
It's a great way to learn.
Yeah,
John, you got into it. You fell into it really late, editing and filming and stuff like
What's
that,
late?
right?
Like 2016 or something.
Okay.
Like recent.
Yeah.
Very recent. I just was like, I was the guy who watched YouTube videos. Like had a YouTube channel so I could comment on people's channels. Like that's it.
Troll?
No. Like
Okay.
I was genuine.
Dude,
I
no,
was
you're
one of those
genuine.
guys.
Troll, yeah.
I've
those
always
guys.
said if I didn't have my own channel, I would be a troll.
Yeah?
100%.
Oh, man.
Not a mean one, but
Yeah?
just like an annoying one. You know,
Okay.
that's
I'm
what
like
I would
too
be.
sensitive. Like I'm that guy who will even if I say something kind of mean, then I'll reply to my own comment and be like, "That was a joke, by the way." It's like, no one thought.
I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
This is what it meant. This is what
Yeah.
I'm explaining my sarcasm.
Yeah. No, it was like a genuine, I want to subscribe to these people. I want to be able to comment. And I liked seeing people's YouTube videos so much. And they were all like the talking head style videos back. Like, have you guys ever heard of Vlogbrothers?
No.
They're early on YouTubers. And it's just two brothers that are in completely different parts of the world. And on Tuesday, one of them uploads. And on Friday, another one uploads. And it's just them talking to each other. That's the whole theme.
Wow.
But it's
pretty break.
it was, yeah.
ahead
For
of the time.
YouTube back in 2008 or whatever, that was
Okay.
oh wow, crazy. But
Now we just got cats.
Yep,
yes,
pretty much.
Exactly. So it was like that style of video. I was like, oh, this is super interesting, super cool. So then I just started filming. I play guitar, and so I was filming guitar covers, and then kind of talking to the camera a little bit, and that was and then I started, I want to learn this. Oh, I want to learn composition. Oh, I want to learn better editing. Oh, I want to learn, and then it was all YouTube based, but yeah.
And then before you know it, man, you're just gimbling
gimbling it up, man.
running around.
Yeah. I've got I just recently got the Ronin, the new one for the mirrorless, the SC.
Oh, there's a newer than the S.
Yeah, newer than the S.
What's
Like
the
a smaller
C?
version.
It's
Oh,
for
compact.
mirrorless, compact.
Oh,
It's
okay.
meant for mirrorless cameras, and I'm have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm trying to get gimbal shots going on. And
Yeah,
then
man,
The
it's all
camera just
smooth.
slowly starts tilting, and then it's done, and I'm like, dang it! But
It's all about getting that balance right the first time,
I
man.
know, man, it's hard.
Okay, so what I want to talk about and what I'm sure a lot of people are interested in is you guys make YouTube videos now,
Correct.
as the Buttery Bros.
Correct.
That was not always what you guys were doing, right? A lot of the people that are following you now were following you for another reason before the Buttery Bros happened. So like I remember before like so you guys were working with CrossFit. And you like see you guys in certain videos, like you guys were kind of like your own personalities, but like it was like, oh, they're the camera guys. It's
Yeah,
like,
we were very behind the scenes. Before.
yeah, exactly. And like I think the thing that everyone remembers, especially with Mars, is the running shot, right? The sprinting. There was the end of the sprint event, and you're like holding that huge camera, sprinting with them, like literally beating them at the end of their sprint, and everyone was like talking about that. But
that,
you guys,
that made its rounds. Like
Yeah,
that wasn't
dude,
just
it
CrossFit
still
rounds.
does.
It still
That-
does.
Yeah,
I've
that
seen-
was like Reddit filmmaking rounds,
Yeah, I
and
know.
like
It'll like show up on some like random film Instagram,
Instagram
and I'm just like,
page.
yeah, share it amongst yourselves.
make sure you tag me. You know,
Yeah.
no big deal. What was that like when that started going around? Was it weird or
Well, what was weird is like I remember it being like sort of talked about at the time, but then like it didn't even really happen until like years later. Then it started getting shared around, and I was like, well, yeah, this is kind of old, but
Yeah.
you know. So it was cool. I mean, it's not like I was out there trying to like look cool. I was just trying to get a shot.
Just trying to
you
get
know?
a shot. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then you guys were working with CrossFit, making the documentaries, which I mean, literally, what I think what's cool, and it's I even forget sometimes that you guys were behind those because that's literally how I got into doing CrossFit.
Oh, wow, cool.
Was the
Love hearing
documentaries?
that.
Jean,
So cool.
Jean started CrossFit before me, so he started about what was it like 2 months before I did?
yeah.
He started 2 months before I did. The reason he started was because his current wife now, she was doing CrossFit and he was trying to get with her, right?
Hey,
So
I
Yeah.
100% slid in the DM and I was like, "You do CrossFit? Wow, that's so interesting. I'd love to try it." And then she was like, "Yeah, come check it out."
Oh wow.
like-
And
You're
then I'm
like,
like,
she
"That's
wasn't
a date.
She didn't think
Literally.
she didn't think he was gonna come.
I came and she couldn't even remember my name.
She's like, "Hey, buddy."
She's like, "Oh, you came?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
"Of course I did."
But yeah, so I found out about her, but hers was actually adequately enough or whatever was from watching a YouTube video. That's how I got into it. I saw a YouTube video that Pure Pharma back then did of Lauren Fisher.
Oh, okay.
And they did this YouTube video, and I'm like, whatever she's doing is insane. And then on YouTube, if you watch one video, it's like, oh, you're interested in this, and it's like all the recommended
Rabbit
become
hole.
about
Yeah,
those.
and then
I
it's just
went in
cats
this
in boxes. I know, I've
mad
been there.
rabbit hole, and it was all the it was actually all the Road to the Games.
Oh, cool.
That was like
Yep.
what it started doing, and it was that year that it was like, you know, I think it was 2015. It was the year that Ben Smith and Katrin won.
Yeah,
So
that's
they
was
won in
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
15,
So
16.
during that whole,
So you were watching it in 2016.
I was
Yeah.
watching it in 2016.
Yeah.
It was of that year. Yeah.
So
made-
so I saw him get into that, and Jean has lost like 30, 40 pounds, like we talked about.
Kudos, bro.
And
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank
so he
Found
was. I was a big inspiration for him, and like if it wasn't
Yeah.
for me,
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
don't think he would be anywhere he is in life. So, like
100%.
a lot of Jean's things that he's done in his life is really credited to me. He doesn't talk about it much, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty humble
TM.
about it.
Yeah, I'm also 2 years older than him, and you copied my name. So, you know what I mean? Jean and John over here.
Did I though?
Anyway.
But so Jean he saw me like lose weight, and then I don't think it was like, oh, my brother lost weight, I want to do it, but it just kind of happened that he started losing weight after I did. So he
Less inspirational, more revenge.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
He's
how are
like,
you going to lose weight?
Yeah.
And I'm going to become the ugly brother. So then it was like, I need to get it.
I'm gonna
in
be
shape.
real. I was still the
Yeah,
more
no.
handsome brother when I was 360 pounds. But
dig.
so I saw Jean. When he first started losing weight, he would like ask me about, oh, what are you doing in the gym, blah blah blah. Because like this was like after I had lost most of my weight, and I kind of told him what we were doing, what I was doing, and then we worked out a couple times, but he never really like loved it. And so
It was the bodybuilding split. It
Yeah,
was
it
the,
was
hey,
standard.
you have to do chest on Monday. You have to. It's the rules.
Yeah, man.
Because
Back and
Chest
buys.
exactly, because the next day you need to be able to do back and by,
And
and,
then Thursday is
maybe,
just ass.
maybe do legs. Maybe.
nah, no legs.
Ass and
Yeah,
abs.
maybe. But then you need to give yourself enough recovery time because on Thursday you're getting that chest again. You
Yep.
know, and it was like,
So Jean didn't like that very
No,
much,
I
and so
didn't.
he went to the gym because he was like,
I need
"It's
to be
what I
healthy.
should do." And
Yeah.
then when I saw him get into CrossFit, he was like super into it, and I was like the normal. So I did a physique show. I was like the normal bodybuilder guy that was like, "Oh, CrossFit, I don't know about that." Like I've heard that people get injured and it's bad for you.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. But then I saw how much he like loved it, and I was like, that looks really fun. And then he had me watch the documentaries, and it was two. So it was the froning documentary, and then it was Fittest on Earth, I think. And before I did my first workout, I bought a pair of Metcons, and I was like, all right, let's do it. And I did my first workout, and then I fell in love. But if that whole story was like, you guys have a little bit of a role in me starting CrossFit, and so it's pretty crazy, man. And I think that story is not special by any means. Like, I think there's a lot of people that have seen those documentaries and have it sparked them to want to try CrossFit. And I think that's what's really cool about the documentaries, is because even for me too, like the people that are watching them, they understand I'm not going to watch this and then start doing CrossFit and then go to the games. They just like, you really start to realize what people are like capable of. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what? Like, I thought the gym was this place that you had to go and it was like boring, but then you see these people doing this amazing stuff. So like, I think that the documentaries have been, I'm sure it's brought, I don't even know how many thousands of people to do CrossFit. And I'm sure you guys know that, and like, you guys understand like the work you are doing there. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and I'm sure CrossFit knows that too, which is why they completely got rid of it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I was going. That's kind of where I was going. Is that's what I mean. There was this huge thing, and we made a few videos on all the changes that happened, because even as people that like to watch the games or just like doing CrossFit, it was like, for us, we were like, what the heck is going on? Like, we felt like we were in the dark. And then so for you guys, that was, I'm sure, insane, because it's like, that's what you guys are doing. You're making these documentaries, you're making these awesome videos for CrossFit, and then it's all of a sudden, all right,
I look at it as almost like, you know, you have this golden goose that keeps laying these eggs, and then you just come in, they cut the head off the goose. Yeah. You're like, why did you kill the goose?
And seriously though, I think that's what is so, it's still hard for me, and it's been it's like a year past since that happened.
We just passed a year, yeah.
And it's still like, I don't get it. And I mean, maybe it's this plan they have that's like a 5-year plan that people will maybe understand. I don't think that's what it is, but so you guys working for CrossFit, making these awesome videos that are literally changing thousands of people's lives. Like, I truly believe that. It changed my life for sure, right? And then all of a sudden, okay, now we're no longer working for CrossFit. What do we do? I think what is super cool about what you guys did is that's how the Buttery Bros was birthed, right? Like, okay, well, let's make these videos. And I mean, I think it honestly, I'm sure at the time it was like, whoa, this is crazy. This sucks. Like, now what do we do?
Well, what's funny is like when that all happened, it's not like we were like, hey, let's go start a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It kind of organically happened when we were in Fraser's place and we were doing a workout, and Sammy happened to pick up our camera. We were there filming a commercial with Fraser. But we got back afterwards and looked at the footage, and I was like, dude, I think we got enough to like make a little video out of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it on MySpace or something.
Put it on Friendster.
Yeah.
No, well, that's exactly where I was trying to go. It's like, so how did that? Yeah, like, I mean, you kind of told that story a little bit, but like, how did it go from, okay, now I don't want to use like the word unemployed, but it's like, well, what the heck? And then now we have the Buttery Bros, and like, you guys, I think are making some of the best content on YouTube in general, but especially like CrossFit wise.
Thanks, man.
Like, when a video comes out, I'm a genuine fan, right? Like,
great.
for real.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking a little bit before the podcast, and you're like, yeah, we did this. I was like, yeah, I know. I saw the video.
You knew about it?
You know what I mean? So like, I'm just interested in that journey, because I think that it says a lot about you guys not being, because it could be really easy for that to happen and be like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I have to find something else.
Yeah. So we
you
don't
guys
need to
built something super awesome.
Yeah. Like, so you guys get laid off. What's the next thing?
So I woke up so before I even got home from being fired, there was an article on the web calling out Marsden and I for being fired, not calling us out, but naming us as people that had been let go by CrossFit.
Oh, yeah.
So I hadn't even been home to talk to my wife, and this article is hitting the news. Woke up the next morning to an email from Dubai CrossFit Championship asking us to come out, and so we started that conversation. And then within 48 hours, I had a bunch of emails come in asking like, hey, what are you doing? How can we work together? And one was this company, a production company out of the UK that wanted to work with us on our documentary. Uh-huh. But part of what they were doing is they wanted to bring in a brand that would be associated with it in a way that we weren't sure what was happening there. We were talking about making the 2018 documentary a little bit at this point, and that wasn't that ended up not happening.
So that's like a rogue documentary, right?
It's
like
a rogue,
stuff's
like
been
it's
filmed
shot.
and it's
It's in the can.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful footage.
Yeah, we have one
That you'll
interview.
never see.
We just never interviewed Tia Claire Toomey. I think that was the only thing we needed to do.
Oh, my
and then
goodness.
maybe some minor interviews. And
Went
Yeah.
to Sweden, went to Iceland, went to
Jeez.
Canada.
So
Wait,
you
a week-
basically
a week-
shot that whole documentary, and now it's like
Well, what's funny is like went and collected the last bit of interviews that we needed to complete the story, and then we got back,
It was
and we
like a
got
week
back,
later.
and they're like, "Yeah, you guys are fired." And I was like, "Why'd you just send us around the
Yeah.
world?"
Can you?
was
Did
a
you
great trip.
guys have the
Wow.
option of buying that footage back? Or
No,
is
I
it
mean it's
not even?
it's a complicated
Okay.
It's a complicated process.
Okay.
And ultimately, they came to us like a month later and saying, no, we're not interested in this movie being made.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, it's your footage. You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
it all. Like, that sucks for us. But we're
Uh-huh.
already starting plans for what are we going to do for 2019. And when this brand came in and they wanted to be a big part of the documentary, we started talking with some people in the industry about like, okay, what does that mean when we want to try and sell it, or we want to put it on iTunes, or Netflix might be interested. And we were encouraged very heavily to keep the movie white labeled, which
Uh-huh.
means nothing really attached to it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We set out to Dubai. I had kind of had this crazy idea to do some sort of like vlog because I enjoy filming stuff and creating
Yeah.
stuff along the way.
well, because you were kind of you had made vlogs before, right?
Yeah, I made like my own family.
I saw a
vlogs.
couple of
I
those.
saw
Yeah,
the
which I need to
Speed
do.
TR video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then,
The
yeah.
shoe
That was
review.
another one, a little shoe review
Yeah,
back in the day. And so when we went to Dubai, we came back and we were thinking about like doing a docu-series at this place, but we didn't know how we were going to fund it. I was thinking we were going to have to do a lot of commercial work,
Uh-huh.
and like objectively, I was thinking like, okay, maybe 1-2 commercials a month, and then we spend the rest of the time like once a month traveling to try and film stuff for the docu-series is what
Yeah.
the objective was.
docu-series.
And then when we got back from that commercial shoot at the 1st of January 1st, in Matt Fraser's garage, Marsden, like he said, he looked at this footage that we had shot that I had gone in with like, okay, maybe we can do a little behind-the-scenes vlog. Maybe we can tie something in from Dubai because I'd shot some stuff there. And ultimately, he cut the whole thing in like a matter of 48 hours or something while we were also working on the commercial. We put it up onto YouTube, and it was an instant success.
Well, we were at Wadapalooza when we put it up.
Yeah, like
Remember
we were
that?
in our hotel room. And
So what was
Wadapalooza.
funny is we put it up, and then
Do you remember that night?
the same day we're like walking out to go, film Mattia and Vellner who were there shooting, and then like somebody's like, "Hey, Buttery Bros," and I was like,
It
"What?"
started to hit.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Are you a Buttery Bro?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I guess."
I guess I am now.
Yeah.
But as the YouTube channel, I remember when we put it up that night, we were like, okay, maybe we could monetize this. And we started looking at the rules, and you have to have like certain number of subscribers and certain number of minutes watched. And is it 1,000 subscribers?
I think it's 1,000, and then it's like 5,000 minutes watched, which is not much.
Yeah. And for us, I was like, okay, maybe we'll get that on like our second video. And we had 1,000 subscribers within 2 hours of putting it
Absolutely.
on YouTube.
Wow.
And it just blew up.
Yeah.
And it was like, for me, I was like, wow, this is way bigger than I had expected. Within a week, we had 20,000 subscribers. And then when it really started to hit for us and where we could actually start to do this as a sort of side job was
Yeah.
Marsden. We were getting close to the Open, and he called me and he said, dude, we got to go to London. And I was like, what are we going to do in London? Like, they have a live stream happening there. What are we going to add value to it? And he was like, we're going to go and we're going to produce a better show than the live show, and
Heck
we're going to
yeah.
put it up within 12 hours. And I was like, I'm in.
To be
awesome.
fair,
That was
wouldn't be that hard.
Some crazy times.
Don't say that. That's not nice. I'm sure
have-
they tried very hard.
We didn't have money, so like we put it on a credit card. We went out and we did that, and I think we suffered for the rest of the weekend for our docu-series shoot because we ended up shooting the sanctionals happening that week. I lost my voice for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he
after
sounded
that.
terrible. He's behind the camera trying to interview Siggs, and he's like,
I'm whispering to Sarah Sigmund's daughter behind the camera because I can't speak loud enough. I think one time I like wrote a question down on my phone and handed it to her. Like I sounded miserable, but she was very sweet and worked with us all weekend. But from that point forward, we were able to then also start to bring in brands for our show because I like working with brands. I like helping out the community, and these are people that want to work with us. So since then, we've actually been able to turnkey it into something that has made it really easy for us to produce our documentary and give us access to places that we need to be during the time frame of the season.
Absolutely.
I think what people don't like see is just how much like work goes into each episode, and I think that's what for me when I saw the first the first episode, I was just like, I know how much work goes in like to the editing and stuff. So I was just like, this is awesome. And then I think, I'm not sure if other people felt this way, but I think I almost felt like I was almost upset about what happened for you guys. And that might sound weird, but like, because I was like, that's not right. Like, you can't just do that to people, right? And then so like when I saw that you guys were doing something your own, I was like, I want to support this. It was like I was excited to, and I wonder if that was kind of what was going on with a lot of the community. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to get behind you because so many people felt like the rug was kind of snatched on them, even if they're just like me and John, just people that are watching the stuff. It's like, wait, what's going on now? Well, these guys, I know them, I want to support them, and they're trying to do something. So like, let me support them. Like, do you feel like that kind of was part of it too?
Yeah,
at all?
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like the most natural thing for us to do is to try and like pick right up where we left off and like try and do documentaries and stuff like that. And this whole Buttery Bros thing just kind of happened organically.
Yeah.
Where it was like all of a sudden I'm on camera instead of behind the camera asking the questions, and it's like it's actually a lot of fun because I'm very I'm kind of a different guy, and I have a lot of fun just goofing off and joking with people. So what's funny is just watching the channel kind of evolve, and we've got these kind of out there intros now, and we've got people tagging us in Waking Cake on Saturday mornings,
or litterboxing,
Like I literally I was like playing bongos, and then it just started to go lower and lower, and then before you knew it, I would look like I was like in a litter box.
Yeah.
And we called it the litter box, and now I got like people tagging us in those, just looking like fools.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. I'm glad that everybody can join in on the Litterbox.
Yeah, it's only them who look like fools. It's not you guys.
You guys look great.
Yeah,
You
you guys look totally great. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting how the media team, like we can get past this soon, but like the media team also, they all kind of went into like, they're doing their own things, but it was like what they were good at.
Yeah, Sean and Tommy doing their podcast.
Exactly.
Talking Elite Fitness. They're doing great. And
absolutely
I know that,
they are.
And then Rory has since been able to do more hosting type stuff. And I know that that's something he's always been very talented at. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool to see everybody kind of like after the smoke clears, where everybody's kind of landed, and it's cool because I get to work with all my coworkers that I did at CrossFit most of the time, and love all those guys. Yeah. So
there was a I think at least in my like heart, how it felt was when
in my feels,
how I feel was like CrossFit's already kind of crapped on, right? Like from the outside, like powerlifters and weightlifters and other barbell sports or whatever, they're just like, well, yeah, that's stupid. That's the runt thing, just that training style, that training methodology. But it was like, at least our media's cool, like that was like the very thing that we like held on to. Was like, at least we've got cool videos.
That's what's crazy though.
Powerlifters are cool, but have you seen our videos?
I know, yeah. Like my back is jacked up, but our videos are awesome. No,
that was what was cool. Is like me and Heber started working for CrossFit in like 2009 or 10. And there was like, it was like kind of how I feel like CrossFit became so mainstream was through the media and through social media and through people like sharing their PRs and like all these cool things happening. And we'd be traveling a bunch and being able to like interact with athletes. And, it was cool just to kind of, I don't want to say like create the media, but like we were, developing it and putting it into platforms and ways that people could ingest it. And still trying to do that, but it was just cool to see what it was and what it became to what it turned into. You know what I mean?
And it was like, as soon as all that happened, it kind of felt like we were back in like the dark days of
the
like,
dark
just
ages.
like, well, we don't even have cool media anymore. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, check out this live announcement. It's like, maybe don't.
I don't know, man. Maybe get some blue jugs.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you could do some jug deadlifts if you want. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, some coolers, some antifreeze. But it was really cool when you guys. I just know, like, I think as a fan, of media and video and YouTube, to be able to see, oh, this is awesome. This is cool. Like, to get that back.
Yeah.
That was like for me what like.
Yeah, and
awesome.
what's been cool is like it's evolved a lot because like we set out to do a series, and through finding out that everybody that qualified through the Open this last year, it basically took all your top 20 out of the field for the sanctionals. So then we went to the sanctional events, and it's like all your big name athletes are kind of gone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And by the time we got to the games, our distribution company that we've been working with in the past, they were like, we want to help you produce this documentary. So it kind of evolved from thinking we were doing a series about the sanctionals and into the games to just a combination of the both into one documentary.
Oh, so I'm interested because we've been talking about like the documentary. Are we allowed to know more information about it? Like what you guys exactly are working on, like to be released? Like, because I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Like, so what exactly is it that like you're working on? Like, where's it gonna be? Like, I'm super excited. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to see that. You know?
Yeah. So we've got a documentary about the 2019 season. Right now, we can't say exactly where it's going because we don't know exactly where it's going to go. But right now, our plan is to have it come out very similar to what we've had in the years past.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be on iTunes, Netflix is TBD, other platforms are TBD, but iTunes or wherever you can buy videos, like if you buy them on Amazon Prime or if you rent through other platforms, the same distribution company that distributed our previous movies is doing this one. So it should have a very similar release, but some of the actual platforms are unknown at this stage.
Okay, so you guys are kind of known for eating pancakes.
Yep, Wake and Kick.
Isn't that
Wing
funny,
Kick-
though?
yeah.
Oh no!
It's kinda
You know what's
became a thing.
funnier is my brother. He is known for eating Taco Bell and
Oh, Taco Bell.
Chipotle.
You got
It's a
that
problem.
TB.
That is
Hey.
literally most of his diet.
Okay.
It's a problem.
Dude,
So-
I
Wait,
live
wait,
on the burrito diet.
Taco Bell and what?
And Chipotle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's an
Chipotle
issue.
is the nice one, and then Taco Bell's when he just really doesn't care.
Yeah.
Taco Bell's when it's
those
like
late nights.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
fourth meal.
it's like 2 a.m.
Can you tell them about the deal you made with your at the time fiance? It was this is how much he was eating it. Tell them.
Well, no, I mean, we got engaged, and then we were just like, you know what? We want to make sure that we're on point with our diet and with our food. So we had to specifically name we're not allowed to have Taco Bell until we get married. Like it was a specific named restaurant, or if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I would
fast
call it a
food chain.
restaurant.
Yeah, that we
Eatery.
weren't allowed to have.
Yeah.
And I didn't succeed. I had it once.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, one late night came
One
into
time
town,
you couldn't
and I
pull
just
out, huh?
needed to. I needed it.
Those
I needed the Taco
chalupas.
Bell.
Chalupas is
Gordita
210.
Crunch.
Yeah,
Just
man.
calling your name.
Mexican pizza. Just
What's
call
your
it what
what's
it
your
is.
go-to at Taco Bell?
Okay, so it's a Mexican pizza.
Oh, I just said
You
this.
did. You
yes.
called it.
Yeah.
Mexican pizza combo, but I want the soft tacos. I don't want no hard tacos. And
He
then
doesn't
I
want to cut his
add-
mouth, you know?
Yeah,
I like
and
the
then-
careful.
combo. I like the
sensitive mouth.
crunch wrap. You know, you get a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But then I gotta do some sides of some bean and cheese burritos with extra red sauce.
Oh, those are
I
your
get about-
sides.
It's about three. About three of them.
He gets three of them.
yeah.
Cinnamon twist.
I go ham.
Every time he's
not
done
gonna-
eating it,
I'm
he's
not
just
gonna
on the couch, like literally making that noise.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. Okay, anyway,
Not for you, not for anyone else.
You guys are known for your pancakes.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who listen to this podcast, they're on their health journey. Right?
Okay.
So they wouldn't say I'm healthy yet. They're
Yeah.
saying I'm working
Working
towards
to get
that.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So your entire diet can't consist of that.
No,
I mean, it can.
I mean,
What like? I don't think you'd be where you are, but it can.
Yeah.
What does the rest of the week look like, and what is what is your journey with food and fitness been?
I mean, I like to live on the fringe. You know, I don't know. I
Me
think
too. Hey,
maybe,
trust
maybe
me,
I
I
was
feel you.
blessed with some good
I
genes.
think Mars has got some genetics.
I got some genetics, you know. But I usually try to eat sort of clean. You know,
Okay.
I'm not like a nutritionist. Don't tell
No,
me that. You
me
know,
neither.
but-
Marsden will eat big chunks, but no, like I don't know that he's aware of this, but I'm aware of this because I have gone years of like weighing and measuring food and
Uh-huh.
tracking
Okay.
it all.
This is interesting.
Marsden will have like pretty substantial meals and then go a really long time before his next meal.
Yeah, so it's I don't know if it's intermittent fasting, but there's some
No,
sort of fasting
I do
going
the
on.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do very similar, but I don't take that break.
Yeah, John has a big meal and then some snacks and a big meal.
don't take that break.
But
Nope.
it's pretty much the same thing.
The reason, and like Jean was telling me that he kind of wanted to ask this question, and I get that you guys probably don't get this question asked to you, right? You're probably asking the athletes and stuff like that. But what I think is important is, one, if people that are listening to this have seen your videos, you guys are fit dudes. You guys do really well in the workouts.
you keep beating me in the open.
Yeah,
workouts.
you beat John in every single one, and I've beat him in 2, so we're 2-2 right now.
all right.
So
Yeah, we're
we
2-2,
got
yeah.
One final
yeah,
showdown.
we got the
Yeah.
final showdown. But I think it's important for people to understand that, like, you don't have to have like that crazy perfect diet. Like if you're doing so, like we talk to Jean all the time, talks about how he's eating Chipotle and Taco Bell, but he's still, he still does well. So I think it's important to like talk about that, because we always watch these videos of like these athletes that are like, yeah, I weigh out everything and I make sure I eat 6 meals a day, and especially like around the games, like I don't have any ice cream or whatever, and I'm very strict. And it's like, that's cool, but that's not what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love
It's
it.
not a lifestyle.
There's a wide variety, because like where were we? Dude, we were a couple weeks ago out in Kentucky with old Chandler Smith, and he's like, "Hey, we're stopping at Panda Express on the way
Yes.
home." And I was like, "Dude, Panda Express?
Preach.
the MSG place?"
Yes.
And Noah was not about it.
No,
Really?
no,
Noah
was
was
like, "I can't do it."
We're going to Cracker Barrel.
We're going to Cracker Barrel, and then I watched him down like 6 sodas. So I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
what is the point?
Yeah.
Noah was the sodas,
Yeah.
not Chandler.
No,
Oh
yeah.
man.
So
I
MSG
mean,
is not okay.
I feel like those
Soda.
guys, they eat for performance, but they'll look good, whatever. You know what I mean? Those
Well,
guys,
when you're doing like that many workouts, and I mean, and then the amount of like muscle they have too, it's like they need a ridiculous amount of calories anyways.
yeah, I remember like the Michael Phelps diet. He was like,
Oh my
he eats
gosh.
6 foot longs and a pimento loaf
Pizzas
before
and
lunch.
stuff like that. And yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So Chandler is very hypersensitive about his diet, not his diet, but the way he looks. So if he knows a camera is coming, he will dehydrate himself. to look more
Yeah, he said he
striated.
dehydrated himself for the Waza qualifiers.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
He looked
That's
He
crazy
did.
to me
It worked.
because it's one thing to dehydrate yourself for maybe like a bodybuilding show, because all you're doing is standing on stage and
Yeah.
flexing. But like he's literally doing some of the hardest workouts ever.
Yes, he's on
That's
camera
so funny.
doing the workout demo and had an incredible time dehydrated.
Jeez.
No, that's not.
What
That's
an
not me.
idiot.
Insane. So you said that you went a long time like measuring and weighing. Was there a reason that you were doing that? Was there like a goal that you had?
Just to look jacked, I think was the goal. So I've been through a few.
And I didn't ever have that intention. It just happened.
Poor
And now
guy.
I'm super jacked. It is what it is.
Yeah, Dan Bailey tried to give me diabetes
Ah,
back in
the
2000.
diabetes.
Wait, what?
2013.
I need to hear this story.
So-
Trying to gain hard gainer.
I was like,
Get
yeah,
some
I'm a
weight.
hard gainer.
He's like,
Yeah.
what you need to do is eat 3 Snickers right when you wake up, okay?
No, this is it. So he said
He
to
got
me-
big, man.
He was like, I said, Dan, my goal. This is right when we started filming Danny Broflex. For those of you who
Okay,
don't know
yep.
Danny
And Dan
Broflex.
Bailey is jacked out of his mind.
Yeah.
For
So I was
people
like-
that are listening.
Dan, you're my homie now. You're gonna be my life coach. What do I need to do to become bigger? And he's like, I'm gonna give you a squat program. And he sent over in a squat program. And in the email, it was like, if you haven't had 5 pancakes driggled with pecans and a side of Snickers, you're already behind. And I was like, in. So my diet for like 3 months was like a pint of ice cream every night, bowls of cereal, licorice with my eggs. Like I ate terrible.
Licorice and eggs.
Oh yeah, like I just had sugar
Oh.
and ice cream everywhere, and I put on. I usually weighed at that time around like 160, and I got up to like 178. Not looking good.
Yeah, it wasn't the dad bod that I would love right
and,
now.
And I got to a shoot for CrossFit, and we were on a lake in Lake Powell, Utah. And I was like, I don't look jacked as a representative of CrossFit. Marsden looks jacked as a representative of this company. I need to be a better face for that company.
And I
So-
remember at the same time somebody else saw you that hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And they go, Heber, you got bigger.
Not jacked,
Yeah.
just bigger.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Cultivating mass, okay?
Yeah. Try and move me, bro. So then after that, I worked on my diet a little bit better, like actually studied and actually went into some things. Later, I heard about if you can count your macros, if it fits your macros. That logic fit really well with me, and I was like, I clung onto that and manipulated numbers by myself for a few years until I started working with the D-Casu from Working Against Gravity. It's been a
Macro
phenomenal
queen.
help. And I noticed, like, even though I had been doing it by myself for a year, within like 2 months of working with her, I noticed a dramatic change in my physique.
Where were you looking?
In the mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so that's really interesting. So one thing that a lot of like people that follow me, they don't understand is how difficult it can be to gain weight. Because like a lot of people, most people on the planet, right, gaining weight is very easy, right? Losing weight is the hard thing. But like if you're gaining good weight is way harder than losing weight. And that's my own opinion, because I got down to 180 pounds when I was like my lowest when I did my physique show. And then like putting on good weight there's a lot more that goes, because losing weight is just a caloric deficit, right?
Yep.
You begin in a caloric deficit, you could work out if you want, but if you don't want to and you stay in that deficit, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose fat. But if you want to put on weight, you have to be in a surplus, not too much of a surplus to where you're just cultivating mass and like
the old
just
boiled chicken and dry oats.
yeah,
technique.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Nobody wants to do it.
no, yeah, nobody does. And so, but then if you're eating too much, right, you're just going to put on the fat. So it's like you have to eat enough, not too much, and then make sure you're doing workouts that are going to end in hypertrophy, make the muscle come, like make all that happen. So it's a lot of work to put on size, and it's something that a lot of people, they have no sympathy for if it's not their struggle, like at all.
What's funny is like I've been 185 to 192 for years, and it doesn't matter. Like I could eat terrible or I could eat good.
I've been jacked my whole life.
Well, I'm not saying
I came out with a six pack.
Just saying, like, even if I wanted to gain weight, it requires a lot of work for me. I mean, I'm trying to, be over that 200 club. You know what I mean? Just trying to.
And it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Okay. I'm trying to get back to Wonderland.
You need to leave Taco Bell.
Yeah, I know.
Leave Taco Bell to get to Wonderland.
So I've been married for a month.
Congratulations.
Can you? Why do you have to say it like that? Why do you have to flex on us like that?
It's been a whole month.
It
That's
must be
honeymoon
nice.
stage.
I've been married for a month and my brother's single. Whatever.
That's what I was going for.
I know that's where he was
Just
going.
rubbing it in.
No, but I'm learning things. Okay.
Hit me with it.
Today,
Toilet seat has to be down.
Yeah. And today, I was thinking I was being helpful. Our honeymoon was an all-inclusive resort.
I don't know how this got turned into marriage.
You'll see.
John needs some advice.
Yeah. All-inclusive resort honeymoon, and we just went ham. Like, we went for it.
Well done.
And those habits have kind of remained.
Those daiquiris, bro.
Yeah. And so,
That's what they get you.
about on the way to the gym this morning, Sam and I are driving, and I'm just like, you know what? I think that we should lose some weight. I think we've been putting on.
Oh my gosh.
I say that in the most like, I'm looking bad. I want to look better.
How'd
like,
that go?
It did not go well, guys.
I like the
whole
collective we
morning,
should lose
I know.
weight.
Yeah.
The whole morning, and like she's gonna listen to this, and hopefully by this time she's like
forgiven
laughing,
me. She has
a sense of
laughing
humor
with me.
about it.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things that I'm like learning. Like, ooh, okay. Like we should probably, we should be a little stricter with our diet. We should try to lose weight. Doesn't go over well. It's like, I don't know. That's just
There's certain things
diet
that
talk.
it's a team issue, and then there's certain
Holding
things
each other
where,
accountable.
Yeah. Then there's other ones where it's like, that's probably one that I would have approached with. I feel like I look like this. Would you help me out?
Yeah. See,
You know
this is
what I
what I
mean?
need. This is
See?
what I need.
Maybe
He's been
she'll
doing
be
this for a
inspired.
decade. He's got a decade worth of knowledge
This
of
is what I
marriage,
need.
man. He knows it.
She was mad. She's like, so you're saying I look fat? Like, no. That's
And
not
she
what
said
I'm
it
saying.
just like that too, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm like, no. I just know that you're always interested in eating healthier, and and so, you don't think I look good. Did you even think I look good on the wedding? And I'm like, oh, crap. No. I don't want to go this way.
Yeah, month.
So, it's been a month.
All right, man. Well,
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, hey, that's...
You'll get there, dude.
That's food.
Yeah, one day.
talk to me in 3 to 5.
The problem is, like, Taco Bell's so good. And that's the issue. That's always it. Or like Chipotle. Like, tonight she's busy, so dinner's on my own. That's like the thing.
Dinner is Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
That's what that
Have
means.
you tried like Freshly or one of those like food ordering platforms?
I have.
The other thing my wife and I just started doing is Instacart,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal.
Someone was just telling us about that. Yeah. Like $100 for the year.
Yeah.
And then they just deliver food to you.
Dang, that's like that
And then-
Prime.
Yeah. Or Amazon with Whole Foods, I'll be like grilled chicken breast. Shows up at my house.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
They just bring it on a nice cart?
Yeah, they're like
Motorized cart?
Like the little thing.
Yeah.
Monsieur.
steamed. Yeah.
Yeah, Jean-
And the front accent cooks it for me.
Hey.
John would be the guy that's ordering, like, I don't know. I'm sure you can find some unhealthy stuff on that. And so Jean's problem,
Well, I've ordered candy on there for sure.
that's all he would be ordering. So Jean's problem, and we've had this conversation many times, he always has to go against authority or against the rules, right?
Uh-huh.
But the issue is a lot of times it's the rules that he made.
Oh.
So he'll be like,
Break his
okay,
own rules.
I do.
He'll be like, okay, I'm gonna only have Chipotle once this week, or I'm not gonna have Chipotle at all this week. So he makes
because
that rule
has been set against me, I now need to rebel against that rule
Wow.
that I set on myself.
CrossFit
and get
dark
Chipotle
side.
Yeah.
every day instead.
So, anyway, if you guys can help me out with that.
I don't know how to help you with your own rules.
We should make the rule that you have to go to Chipotle.
Yeah.
You have to eat at Chipotle. And you're like, no, I'm going to cook my own
Okay,
meal
yeah,
at
how
home.
about this? You have to eat Chipotle 3 times this week.
Oh,
And one gets to be a bowl
a bowl.
instead of the. What do you get at Chipotle?
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
feel
a
Chipotle's
tortilla is
bad.
that much worse. I mean, come on.
Yes, I mean if you're counting carbs, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So
50 carbs.
it just depends. I
He's
mean, if
so
I'm,
happy you asked this question.
if I'm hungry and it's gonna be like a bowl, with a little bit of white rice, but every single time they give me a scoop and I go, can I get a little bit more? And so then I get a little bit more white rice, black beans, double steak, 100%, and then sour cream, cheese, and mild salsa.
You don't do guac.
No,
Oh.
I don't do the
It's
guac.
extra, dude.
I stopped
Yeah.
doing the guac.
It's
'cause, like,
extra, that's
they're
why.
Yeah, they're like, it's extra, and then they give you this like little dollop. I'm like, come on, man, that's $2 worth.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like guac and sour
an
cream
avocado for
have
that
the
amount.
same. They have the same like
consistency.
consistency.
And
They
texture,
they do the same thing in the bowl. So
Yeah,
I might as
okay.
well just get sour cream.
What's funny is that they would
And then
charge
chips.
extra for guac when they're like selling 12 for $1 here in California, but then like meat comes with it. I would be like, isn't that a little bit more of a commodity?
I think one of the were you with me when we went and that whole like team came?
What?
Was that you?
Yeah.
So we went to Chipotle together, right?
Surprise.
Bro trip to Chipotle. He talked me into it. And we were like excited. We got in there, no line, nothing, right? So then I order my thing and the person's just hooking it up. Like so much rice, so much meat. I do get guac, and they just slapped it on there so much, right?
It's not like it's coming out of his check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always
exactly.
like, come on, man. Nobody's
Exactly.
watching.
Not his check.
so-
her check.
Yeah.
This is important.
Oh.
Yeah, her check,
Not
right?
coming
So
out of her
she just
check.
puts a ton of stuff on it, and then when I'm ordering,
A bus.
I'm not exaggerating, maybe 30 girls start filing in, and it's this bus of like, I don't know, a volleyball team or something like that, right? So I already have my bowl, right? And I get chips every time. My Chipotle order is unhealthy. I don't go there to try and be healthy, right? So and I'm like, thank you. You know how to make a bowl. Like I let her know, you are the MVP.
Yeah.
So then Jean is about to order.
And she goes like, "Here you go, sweetheart."
She called me
Calls him
sweetheart, right?
It's a wonderful exchange between them.
Yeah,
two.
she was really feeling me. I got her number and everything. No, I didn't. So Jean is about to order. This whole team comes in. So now she's a little worried, right?
Uh-huh.
Because now all the meat is about to be gone, all the rice is about to be gone, so she has to conserve. So now Jean, his bowl is. You got a burrito, didn't you?
Yeah.
His burrito. I mean, it's like a half burrito.
It's a thinny.
It was.
It's
a
a
little thinny.
it was a thin one.
It was a thinny.
And she just gets him in and out as fast as possible. She doesn't
No.
call him sweetheart.
She calls me sir.
She
Well,
called,
yeah.
she called him sir.
I mean, I do have a mustache.
Did you have the
Yeah.
mustache
I
at
did
the
have the
time?
mustache.
You
That's
didn't have
probably
those
why.
aviators. You
She
didn't
probably
have
thought he
those
was a cop.
aviators.
Is
Yeah, I
why.
know.
If you
Yeah.
had those aviators on, she would have been afraid and given
She-
you more food.
Well, I know, 100%. But he got the sweetheart. I got the sir with the little bit of food. And
That was a great. That was a good day.
yeah.
That was really funny.
What's your go-to besides pancakes? What's your go-to like
Burrito.
Ooh, this is yeah.
Burrito,
100%,
breakfast
right?
burrito.
Yeah.
I live the burrito diet, So
So will you go like I'm not eating because I'm gonna eat a burrito? Is that how your mind goes?
no,
Or-
I just usually a burrito falls into my lap and I eat
How
it.
did this happen?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of breakfast burritos
burrito
specifically.
is the perfect food.
It's a
Burrito-
vessel.
Yeah.
It
That
takes
you
the
can
middleman
eat.
out
You
of
can
everything.
Eat the thing that keeps it in.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need a fork. You don't need a spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burrito
If you
is.
do-
I
the
could eat a
perfect
burrito every
food.
meal. And I think that you could make anything into a burrito, You could have
It's true. No, it is true.
Yeah.
So my thing is stir fry.
Stir fry.
That's my go-to.
That's a
It's
good
always
healthy
it's my
option.
go-to dinner.
Okay.
Because I'm very lazy when it comes to cooking. So stir fry, frozen vegetables. You can get frozen pre-cooked chicken, right? And then pre-made rice.
Yeah.
So you put the frozen vegetables and the frozen chicken in a wok. You let it cook for a few minutes, stir it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Throw the rice in there for a minute. There you go.
It's like scrambled eggs
It
but
is-
with other stuff.
It is the most simple thing. That's my go-to meal. And I've
you
even
put a sauce on it?
oh yeah.
What kind of sauce?
So the sauce, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it is.
So
I'm a sauce boss.
I like to get the Panda Express sauces that they sell at like
Oh.
Vons, right? And so they have a bunch of different flavors.
Is you talking orange chicken here?
Orange
Yeah,
chicken,
orange chicken,
they have
mandarin,
sweet and sour,
sweet and sour.
mandarin. They even have the
Come
Beijing
on.
beef,
Hey.
and then you could change it up. So it's like you're eating the same meal, but it's not the same meal.
Gotcha.
So you can have it all. Like I have it almost every day.
Yeah,
Different
And everyone
flavors.
always asks, "Don't you get sick of that?" I'm like, "Nah, man. It's so simple to make."
yeah, you don't get sick of sauce.
And then you get all of because the amount of vegetables I put in there, it's like 7 servings of vegetables.
Oh,
So
okay.
then I'm being healthy too.
Yeah.
You know.
Boom.
Bam.
I'm just grazing.
Mine's pizza, barbecue chicken pizza.
Ooh.
That's my go-to.
Oh,
See, all the things you
Papa
guys are saying are my
John's.
go-tos too. But
Except
that's the
for the
problem.
stir
I
fry.
can't have that many go-tos. Yeah, except I'll be like, yeah, pizza's my go-to. So I'm like burritos. Like burritos my go-to. Also,
Kale
like,
salad.
Yeah. All right,
my
yeah, that's my
go-to.
go-to.
Another thing Jean will do is his
But
wife.
mine's pepperoni pizza.
His wife is the sweetest human on the face of the earth. She is so nice. We all live together, right? So
Okay.
I see all the interactions. She so sweet. She cooks their meals for the whole week, right? On
Wow.
Sunday,
We
she'll
do
labor.
We do it together. We do it together.
Jean,
but meal preps. Yeah.
Jean's in the room. Okay,
He's
he's in the
salty.
room,
Yeah.
and
I'm typically editing videos.
yes,
That's what I go
and
for.
so she'll make all these meals. You know, a lot of times it'll be like super simple stuff, chicken, rice, and broccoli and stuff like that. Make all these meals, prep them, put them in the little containers, everything.
writes my name on it with
Writes
a heart.
his name on it with a heart.
It's wonderful.
And then so Jean, you know, he'll be like, oh, it's Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to take one of these to work. He'll take it to work, and you know what he does to this nice meal that has been prepared for him? He'll take the vegetables, just put them in the trash.
Oh.
He just scoops.
I've done that like twice.
Yeah, I don't believe you. You've
that-
been caught twice.
No, I've done it. I've done it twice, and
Okay.
each time I did it, I got caught.
Where's my snack pack?
So literally, that's the kind of Jean is like, vegetables. I don't want those, and he'll just throw them away. That's how
that's
he
a
is.
problem.
So it's
I
been
gotta
a
work
struggle
on
for him to try and.
But dude, like, you know, some good Brussels sprouts, you know, these
I do.
sprouts, these
I love-
sophisticated sprouts that they're giving you in these restaurants now.
Oh
These
my
are
gosh.
like candy vegetables, right?
Absolutely,
Those-
man.
I don't know whatever
Brussels
they're cooking
sprouts
them
are
in.
Amazing,
Dude, I was always
Some
like growing up, I
crispy
was like,
Brussels
Brussels
sprouts?
sprouts? You kidding me? And then like
They came around.
they came
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Now they're
Somebody
like
figured it out.
they're like the popular vegetable now.
Yeah.
Like,
Rightfully so.
Sam has like these
They're the pumpkin
bags
spice
that have
of
Brussels
vegetables.
sprouts on them. Like it's like a thing now.
Yeah,
Very nice.
We should
Some
do
basic
that.
veggies.
Oh my goodness.
Pumpkin spice of
It's like
vegetables.
a pumpkin flavoring. Put it on your Brussels sprouts.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I'm a big fan of caramelization. you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get back. I don't know how we got into that, but I want to talk more about like the travels that you guys have gone on, because I think that is super cool. It's like something that not a lot of people are able to do. Like you guys are traveling, especially right now at the Open. It's like every week you guys are going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you guys are in San Diego. You're not from here, right? So you've traveled here. Is there? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this, but like, is there any experience or like travel thing that you guys have done, whether it was with CrossFit before or with the Buttery Bros, that just like kind of sticks out as like something that was really cool that you were able to do?
I mean, right now I would say Aruba. We went to
Aruba was
Aruba about a
epic.
month ago, and there was an event going on there.
Oh, is that why you guys weren't at my wedding?
Is that,
Yeah,
I sent the
yeah,
invite.
yeah.
Never heard
well,
anything.
we thought that, you know, the
Sorry.
honeymoon would catch up with you.
yeah.
It's an all-inclusive resort. And we're like, we're there.
yeah.
So that was like one of the first, or not one of the first, but like since we've been doing Buttery Bros, that's like kind of what we've been like. That's what we want to get to. We want to be able to go to these like exotic locations and just like get put up in these fancy hotels and do a lot of lifestyle stuff and have fun and like
Yeah.
do some gainers off some pirate ships and stuff. So that was like this year is probably my favorite trip so far. But we've been tons of other places that. I mean, a lot of places in the States. We've only gone to London.
For the Buttery Bros, we've been here a lot. The travels in general for the sport of fitness, like Iceland's iconic. You got to go. Australia is always really cool. But like Martin said, Aruba is just, that was such a crazy cool experience.
Like, I would have never thought to go to Aruba, and then next thing you know, I'm there, and there's like pink flamingos walking around. I'm like, what's up, baby?
Yeah.
You skip leg day.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's so cool about like when you make something that people are interested in and they want. Like people, I'm sure a lot of the brands that you guys work with, like they just want to see what you'll do with that brand. You know what I mean? Like some of the, I mean, I don't even want to call them ads, but like some of like the way that the integrations that you guys have with like your videos, it's just fun. And it's like, I'm sure like thinking of it as like the brand that has like been like, we want to work with you guys, let's make something. And then like seeing that in a video would be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I think that's something that you guys do really well is
Thanks, man.
integrating it to where it's not like, oh,
Well, yeah, and when
You know
it's
what I
so
mean? It's
much
like-
better than like something that's really cool to watch and fun to watch, and next thing you know, oh, I just went through an ad segment or
Yeah,
whatever.
and
Versus like some person who's like some Insta chick who's like working out, and there's like a energy drink off in the corner. And
That's
she's
my
like,
favorite. Those are my favorite ads.
And where it's just like,
Dude, that
it's
was
like
the funniest.
doesn't
that
belong.
energy drink is
Recreate some
following
of
you
those.
around your workout. Like
Yeah.
there'll be like 7 slides, and then this pre-workout just somehow is in the front of every single shot.
Yeah,
That's my
you're like-
favorite.
yeah.
Yeah, like we
Gotcha.
did one a couple weeks ago for Fraser Aid, and it was kind of like
that was so funny.
like we could have probably taken it a little bit further, but it was funny just because we were like they came to us and they're like, hey, we want to work with you guys. How can we incorporate our product? And we're like, we're just gonna make it a bunch of ways that Fraser Aid will make you better, and they're gonna be just out of the. They're not gonna work, but it would just be a fun way to at least have somebody remember it, and not just like something that you would just think that it was an ad, you know. So. The more that we've done that, the more that we've kind of expanded on it, and the more that it's been like, how can we like poke fun at ourselves in an ad? You know what I mean? So
Self-deprecation always is a good way to go.
yeah,
It seems to work every time.
Especially if you do it well.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There
Yeah,
you
if you're like too mean to yourself, then people
Yeah.
almost feel bad,
Yeah,
and that's not
like, oh.
what you want to do.
yeah.
That's what Jean does, and it's
Yeah,
a little.
yeah.
He goes a little too far sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So as we start like kind of wrapping this up, like what is next for the Buttery Bros? Like the Open's ending.
Open's
So-
ending, and then basically this trip will be our last trip until we go to the Fitness Film Festival for Noble.
I saw
Oh,
that.
very
It
cool.
looks fun.
So we're
Yeah.
actually going to be taking a piece of the documentary there to premiere.
That's so
and
cool.
Kind of get people stoked, and then from there we'll be basically in an editing cave.
Yeah, we'll probably shoot some local stuff in Utah in December, most likely. While
Okay.
so we'll still be producing some Buttery Bro stuff, but we gotta like lock down and make sure we hit our deadlines for the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then 2020 has quite a lot of travels in store. We got Bali, Australia, Portugal, United Kingdom, Huntington Beach, Wadapalooza,
Trenton,
potentially
New Jersey.
Yeah, Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's
North
that for?
Dakota.
Yeah. No, we're not going to those places. But if you're from there, shout us out.
He got me on that one.
Yeah.
Dakota probably has some sick wake and cake spots.
Has anybody been to Delaware?
No.
I've been to Delaware. They have a
don't
beach
even know.
there.
I don't even think it's
They
there
have a
anymore.
beach there.
there anymore.
They have one beach. That's all
But
they
yeah,
have.
stoked. We're gonna be going to Bali in
That's
April
an-
for
that's
WOD
awesome.
camps, and it's like now that like people can see that we're like how we integrate with these type of places, and then like if Bali comes, they're like, hey, you want to come to Bali? And you don't say no to that. You're like, yeah, we'll come to Bali, and I don't even know what you do there really.
Well, you'll find out.
Swim.
Sure, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a beach there at somewhere.
Yeah.
At least one.
maybe
At
the
least
maybe the
one.
Delaware beach got moved to Bali.
Yeah, man, just relocated that prime real estate, you know.
Cool guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Dude, thank
guys.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, between two Johns, June Clouds.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
between two Glaudes.
between two Glauds.
That's the new name of the podcast.